This Sunday is the 17th Sunday in Ordinary Time, Year B. The Gospel this Sunday is from chapter 6 of John, the first of 5 Sundays in a row. Chapter 6 is the longest chapter in John's Gospel. The chapter starts with 2 of the best known miracles, the loaves and fishes and Jesus walking on water. But we will focus on chapter 6 so closely over the next 5 Sundays because it includes the bread of life discourse. Jesus will explain that he is the bread of life. This discourse is so important, we will skip the walking on water miracle to get to it next Sunday. This Sunday we start with verses 1 to 15. Jesus arrives on a hill next to the lake known as the Sea of Galilee, which John also refers to as the Sea of Tiberias. Tiberius was Roman emperor from the years 14 to 37. In about the year 20, he had a new town named after him, on the western side of the Sea of Galilee. The town is still there today. Tiberias is now a city with a population of about 50,000. At the time John's Gospel was written, about the year 100, many Romans had started calling the Sea of Galilee the Sea of Tiberias. The lake is only referred to as the Sea of Tiberias twice in the Bible, and only by John. Anyway, a huge crowd follows Jesus to the hill. Some translations of the Gospel describe the crowd as numbering 5,000 people in total. But in the Greek, the specifically adult male noun, andres, is used to describe the size of this crowd. That is, the crowd included as many as 5,000 adult males alone. But we can assume that women and children were also there. In fact, we know that there were also children there because one of the disciples, Andrew, comes to Jesus and says, "There is a small boy here with 5 barley loaves and 2 fish." And of course, Jesus uses that food to feed the entire crowd, with 12 hampers left over. Apart from the resurrection, this is the only miracle that is specifically referred to in all 4 Gospels. But unlike the other Gospels, John's Gospel refers to the loaves being barley loaves, humble food. And John is deliberately making a reference to the book of Kings, and this Sunday's first reading in particular. The first reading this Sunday is from the 2nd book of Kings. Kings is just one book in the Hebrew Bible, split into 2 in the Christian Bible, like Samuel and Chronicles. The book of Kings is traditionally believed to be a history of Israel in the 400-year period from King Solomon, about 950 years before Jesus, to just after the Babylonian exile. This Sunday's first reading refers to Elisha, traditionally believed to have been a prophet who worked from about 890 to 830 years before Jesus. Not to be confused with the more famous prophet, Elijah. Elisha was Elijah's student and successor. In this Sunday's first reading, we hear about the occasion on which a man from a town called Baal-Shalisha brought food to Elisha, including 20 barley loaves. Nobody is 100% sure where Baal-Shalisha was, but Jewish records mention that it was the place where fruit ripened earliest each season. The food was being brought to Elisha as a gift to God for the season. Elisha tells his servant to use the food to feed 100 men. The servant says it will not be enough, but Elisha tells his servant that the Lord says they will eat and have some left over.